The matchup of Brandon Moreno versus Alexandre Pantoja just happened, and what an incredible fight. These guys just went through a war. After the first 2 rounds, I thought for sure this one was going to get finished, or at least after the first round. I thought the first round, Pantoja might get a finish here. The second round, I was like, oh shit, like Pantoja looks a little tired here. Moreno's starting to take over. And then it actually went to a decision. Like super weird fight, super fun fight. Check it out if you haven't. I don't know why you wouldn't, but I'm probably going to rewatch this one the next day because honestly, I probably do just to get the facts of the fight. So I at least have that in my head correctly. But for this matchup, it was incredible. A lot of people said, going into this, I thought Pantoja won this one. I thought he won by like 4-1, maybe 3-2, but I thought 4-1 initially. Maybe 3-2. I think round 4 could have gone either way. But I don't know. A lot of people are calling this a robbery. And I think that's crazy. I don't know if this is just Brandon Moreno fans, not to go after a fan base in particular, but I mean, I don't know how this is a robbery. If anything, a 49-46 scorecard for Moreno is the wildest thing you can even complain about in this fight. So I'm going to put that out there. But I'm going to recap this fight a little bit more, give my thoughts on it. Round 1, I thought for sure was a clear Pantoja round. Got the knockdown. I believe even control time and outstruck him by 6 strikes on the sheet here. I thought he landed the better shots also. So round 2, I thought for sure goes to Moreno. Moreno landed the better shots, had a minute and a half of control time, completed or at least had more output than him. 2 of 2 on takedowns. So it makes sense why he won the fight. The stats back it up here for round 1 and round 2. This is where it gets a little bit more even because it is a lot more of a competitive fight after round 1 and 2. I had a 1-1 going after that, but in round 3, I had a 2-1 going to Pantoja because Pantoja, I think, eventually got his back at one point in this fight. He had 2 minutes of control time. Although control time isn't important, the position that you have on him, again, scoring criteria, damage-based scoring, effective grappling, effective striking. Damage is the most important thing here, but if you have a dominant position on the ground or whatever leads to a fight-ending position, either on the ground, which is a back take, which you can't be on top of a guy. So like if you're in someone's guard, that's just a mere change of position. But like a dominant position would be on someone's back. So that's really important in this kind of thing. So you can land damage as long as you're not like rocking your opponent. Holding a dominant position and going for chokes and submission attempts are really important as well. So 3 strikes separate them on the stat sheet here, 26 and 23. I thought they were both landing some good shots. I think Moreno landed a good head kick in this round, if I remember correctly. But Pantoja landed some good shots of his own. Like, I don't think people realize Moreno was getting beat up in this fight also. Because I don't know if it's Pantoja's style where he just walks forward and just keeps his head straight. And it's like, I mean, I can imagine it. It seems scary for like a normal person, just like seeing this Brazilian dude just walk forward, like just running into all your shots and just taking them. And then just walking forward, like laying out punishment with all this power and grappling. I would imagine that's a little bit scary. But Pantoja 2 of 3 on his takedowns. Moreno didn't have a single takedown in the round. And Pantoja had 2 minutes of control time. I believe he took his back. And even on his back, I think he hit an up kick on Brandon Moreno that really got Moreno hurt. I don't think he dropped him. But when he hit that up kick, Moreno actually fell down to like a leg of Pantoja. Because Pantoja is like, I don't want to say he's flat on his back, but he kind of was. And Moreno kind of just fell down on one of his legs. And Pantoja was like just kind of just hitting him with his hands. He did well off his back also in that round. I think even the commentator said, which I felt was a little bit more pro Moreno here, that he landed a good up kick in that round. So I thought for sure that was round 3 for Pantoja. I had a 2-1 going into the fourth round. I thought was close, but I gave it to Pantoja. But I can understand people giving round 4 to Brandon Moreno. The stats actually back up Moreno in this one. 31 of 48 in significant strikes, 20 of 50 for Alexandre Pantoja here. And Pantoja had 3 minutes of control time. So I may need to rewatch this round just to see what kind of positions he had. If he just held top position, then I understand why people would give it to Moreno. But damage-wise, watching this, I thought for sure Pantoja like landed at least equal or at least close to equal in strikes here. But I can honestly see this one going to Moreno. For sure. I feel like this is a swing round. I won't die on this hill. I need to rewatch the round anyways. But I had it Pantoja in this round. So he had 3 of 4 takedowns, 3 minutes of control time. He was 11 off on the significant strikes. And again, damage is different in these kind of fights. So I do have to rewatch this round. So I did have it 3-1 going into the 5th. But after the fight, I was like, okay, this has to either be 4-1, because I thought round 5 was relatively clear for Pantoja. I thought they were pretty even in the strikes. Pantoja did really well early on in round 5. He landed some really good shots on Moreno. I was like, Moreno needs to step this up a little bit. This could be 3-1 Pantoja. Like, this could be very rough for Moreno, because I think it's like halfway through the round before Moreno started like really connecting on Pantoja, and then Pantoja got him over to the fence, climbed onto his back, and held that position that he held on Alex Perez, and just rode his back in a dominant position, was looking for chokes, he's looking for submission attempts, and they were 2 off in the striking. I thought the striking was very even. Damage was even. I knew for sure damage was even because I was making sure, because it was the last round. I was like, this could be 2-2, this could be 3-1. I thought it was 3-1 watching the fight live. I think after the fight, I was like 4-1, but I feel like even if you do 4-1 and you want to give round 4 to Brandon Moreno, I feel like this has to be 3-2. I don't see this as a 3-2 either way. I thought for sure Pantoja won this fight. I thought there was a clear winner here based on rounds 1, 3, and 5 for sure. I thought round 4 was a swing round, but I knew for sure round 1 and round 5. And round 3, I thought he did a little bit more damage, and he had more takedowns, and he did a little bit more in control. So that's why I had Pantoja winning. I don't understand the robbery concerns of Moreno in this one. I don't even know how many fans, like, I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit of some disrespect going to Pantoja going into this matchup, because not a lot of people have heard of him. But dude's act like an absolute monster. I'm not sure what happens next. I think they do give the title shot to Royval. I think that's what they should do. You cannot lose the 3 times to an opponent. Maybe Brandon Moreno can, because I guess he drew with Davidson Figueiredo. He beat him by sub, and then he lost to him by decision and still got the 4th fight, I guess, after an interim fight, which is different. So I guess he kind of fought a contender and then got the fight, but still 3-0. Moreno needs to fight someone under him. I think it's time he needs to fight a contender. He doesn't have a single title defense, and I don't think you kind of earn that, like a rematch, if you don't have a single title defense. And I thought this was a clear win for Pantoja. So good win for Pantoja. Not sure about the reaction after, but I think a lot of people were on the Pantoja side also. I think it's mostly just a little bit of the Moreno fan base, and I think a lot of that fan base is also in the boxing. So they probably just don't understand the rule set of MMA and how grappling goes in there. And I don't, people calling Pantoja like a nut sniffer, I think is wild. Like, the dude has some incredible grappling. In all honesty, the problem that I have with grappling in MMA is where you have like Bilal Muhammad's who just sit in someone's guard. Like, if you're not doing anything in anyone's guard and you're just sitting there in their guard, I'm gonna get angry. Like, it's more of like, what the hell I'm watching. I get more angry at like clinch scenarios against the fence, where they're just like holding each other against the fence and just tapping a little bit more. That bores me out than the guys laying on each other on the ground. Still probably a little bit more equal there, but what annoys me with the ground game is where they're laying on each other. And there are certain points where this kind of happened in here because they're both super tired, and they were just like, I think there was a point, I don't even remember what round it was, maybe it was the second round, where Pantoja was like in a I don't want to say it was a sprawl, but I think it kind of was. He was like on like a single leg or whatever, and they were both just like chilling like chilling for like a good 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and the crowd started booing a little bit more. But that's like, that doesn't really matter to me, because they are going a little bit faster. I'm like, okay, they need to cool down a little bit, and then they'll start going again. But guys, I don't want to say, well, I am going to say Bilal Muhammad, not specifically, but there are some other fighters also where they just kind of just sit in the guard of their opponent and just hope to get the decision that way. I like guys that constantly move and are constantly working, and that doesn't bother me in grappling, and that's the kind of stuff Pantoja does. He's always looking for submissions, always moving around in the guard, and I think that's pretty entertaining. You saw that a lot on this card also. I thought it was pretty entertaining grappling. Like, this is one of the best cards we've had all year. If not, could possibly be card of the year, just top to bottom. Great fights. But again, let me know what you guys think about the decision. I thought for sure Pantoja won this fight 3-2. Maybe you could argue 4-1, but the stats don't really back it up too much. I think round 4, I really do have to rewatch that fight. But I thought pretty clearly 3-2 for Pantoja. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time.